Good morning, it's the 7th of February, and I am in Cameroon after a successful crossing overnight from Calabar in Nigeria. Before I get to more of that story, we'll start right here. This is where I was camped last night. I set up my tent without the fly and put some simple things in there. Of course, my mattress. I didn't fully unpack the bike by any means. Unfortunately, in the middle of the night, the rain came, and so I had to make a quick exit, and I went this direction and set myself up in the stairwell. Forgive me, sir. So I finished the night right here. Unfortunately, a lot of the crew come and go from that door over my left shoulder, so I was continually disturbed. Of course, I was sort of in their way too, so I apologized many times. By the time I was attempting to sleep here, I was no longer in my tent. I was bitten by only 2 mosquitoes, fortunately. Of course, they bit my feet, which is incredibly itchy. Feet and hands, I find, are the worst when it comes to mosquito bites. They will burn with a red hot itch for at least 30 minutes on my body, and there's no sleep to be had during that period. Now I'm going to make my way down 2 decks. That's the first one. Down to the cargo deck where my bike is. The position of the bike, it's in its 3rd storage space since I got on board. Last night it was here, tied to the rail. Fortunately, because when the rains came, I didn't have all the bags closed by then, so things could have gotten wet. This morning I pulled it out onto the cargo deck so I could more easily repack it. So now I'm looking up at the dock. Excuse me, I'm still battling some sort of illness, and it's caused congestion in my head. You can hear me trying to clear that as I talk. I also have a sore throat and have for 3 days. Doesn't help to get no sleep last night, of course, so we'll see how I feel today. I've had 2 cups of coffee, and that certainly helped me to feel better. Back to this story, standing on the cargo deck. If I just peek through this door, you can see another ship here next to me. That one is tied to the dock itself, and we appear to be tied to that ship. On either side, there are workers on the docks, but I can also see immigration when I'm up on the top deck, at least where the passengers can go. So that's my here and now on the ship. A Norwegian vessel, by the way. If you're really paying attention, you might see that the signs are still in Norwegian and English. The ship was built in 1977. It's almost as old as I am. It's definitely a treat for me to arrive on a Norwegian ferry boat again after so many months since I departed Norway. Very fond memories in that beautiful space and the beautiful people of Norway. Soon immigration is going to come for me, so I better wrap up this video. It has been an eventful crossing, including the time to set up the ship in Calabar. There were many banks involved in a Western Union transaction that failed. I left out those details, by the way. So there's much more to tell if folks have an opportunity to ask questions. Let me say just one more thing about my experience with this individual that took so much money from me. I have said many times, the hardest things in life teach us the most. And I think this case of a man taking all that money from me is not an exception to that rule. It's very hard for me to absorb what happened. So that means I have an opportunity to really learn something. So I'm going to be processing the experience in that way as I proceed into Cameroon and beyond. Well, that's it from Begin Again in Tiko, Cameroon. We'll see what's coming. We'll see what the universe has in store for me next.